University's broadcast and digital network and Troy campuses around the world. This is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for April 23rd, 2015. I'm Samantha Kocan.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening. The Alabama legislature is discussing legislation that could affect the sales tax on vehicles purchased in Alabama. Xavier Harris has a look from our Trojan News Center in Montgomery.
March 3rd began the session for the Alabama legislature. Senators from all over Alabama came together to debate about different bills they would like passed for their district. One representative tells us how each meeting begins.
Well, we have, the regular order of business that's taking place. We open with the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we take up any committee reports and things like that, and then it's just a general order of business. We'll adopt the calendar in a few minutes, and then once that calendar is adopted, we'll start taking up the bills that are listed on that calendar. We'll be here probably most of the day discussing and voting on different bills.
The Alabama legislature is currently debating on raising the sales tax of automobiles. Some senators are afraid that citizens of Alabama will buy cars in other states and Alabama could lose revenue.
Well, people historically do not like taxes to be raised, and you have to understand that once you raise automobile taxes, there's nothing that prevents a person from going to another state to purchase an automobile. So you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, and that raise the taxes so high that people no longer will buy automobiles, so they'll go to other states and buy them, not pay the taxes, and consequently you'll suffer a loss of revenue greater than what you would have had you not raised the taxes.
And this specific day is a little bit different than usual. As you skim through the crowd, you might see the senators in pink and green. That's in celebration of the first African-American sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. One member of the sorority tells us why they come out each year.
We've been doing this since 1997, and we choose today to come for AKA at the Capitol. And we're here in support of those things that are important for us and our targets for that year. And this year we always have education, children, the family, economics. And so we're here to show our support for those bills and to show that we are citizens here and waiting and ready for them to do what we need.
The Alabama legislature will continue throughout the month of April and will end at the end of May. In Montgomery, Xavier Harris, Troy TrojanVision News.
This week is Alpha Week, a chance for Troy's Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity to highlight their organization. Last night, the group held a forum to discuss topics of interest to Troy students. Shantia Wilson has the details.
Wednesday night in the Hall of Honor, the fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha held an informational forum on controversial topics that got students talking.
Today we will be talking about the social biases in America, also the stereotypes that are wrong. That's why we have a panel of people that come from different backgrounds to help us get different feedback from all the different topics.
Many of the topics included differences in society, media's portrayal of police officers, and the effect media has on college students. Darius White shares why he feels it's important.
I think it's really important to have a forum because the main reason is Black society or the Black culture has adapted a new form of information, and that's basically social media. And social media slurs a lot of educational topics that are really important for them to know. And I think that it's gotten to the point where social media is now the first resource of information rather than reading a book or looking at the news.
The fraternity's goal was to inform and have other students voice their opinions about the various topics presented.
I hope that they get to voice their opinions and listen to others' opinions on the things that are going on in the country, because we're the inhabitants of the country and we have to know what's going on.
Shantia Wilson, Troy TrojanVision News.
Tonight, the Alphas will host a meet and greet in Sartain Hall at 7:17.
Troy University Students for Life put on a display today to spread their pro-life message. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Troy University Students for Life held a memorial event called the Cemetery of the Innocents today, remembering the children that are aborted each day.
As you can see, the Students for Life have established the cemetery here on the main quad. There are over 370 tombstones present, each representing 10 pregnancies that have ended in abortion.
While most of the tombstones were blank, a few had names written on them in memory of specific children who were aborted. In addition to remembering the children, the Students for Life also provided resources for post-abortive mothers and families.
We put up links and phone numbers for post-abortive resources such as Rachel's Vineyard, Save a Life. There's one here in Troy, but 5 minutes from the campus. There's also Silent No More. It's a post-abortive awareness, kind of like a campaign so that people who are post-abortive can tell their story and in that way go through healing.
The public reaction was mixed, ranging from supportive to offended.
From the times I've been here, most people have been pretty nice and respectful. They become educated. A lot of them didn't know how many lives are lost to abortion every day. We've had some people not take so kindly to our display. One person wrote in permanent marker on our board something about teen pregnancy in disregard. I've actually heard of a couple of our students who were offended by our display. And I wish I was here for that so that I could talk to them and better explain to them what we were here for. We aren't here to condemn anybody. We're here for support and help.
Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Students for Life plan on making the Cemetery of Innocence an annual event. Many English enthusiasts gathered Wednesday to discuss literary theories and critique their most recent work.
Jordan Elston has the details from the latest installment of Troy University's English Forum series.
Troy University faculty and students had a chance to hear a little literary criticism Wednesday afternoon at an English forum entitled Theoretically Speaking.
Today we had a literary criticism panel where the students in the literary criticism class, which is an upper level English class, discussed our different topics of research.
Each student in the class got to speak on a topic of his or her choosing, and the students said that the forum is a good way for them to get feedback on their work.
I think it all gave us a chance to take our research out to a different venue. With English majors, we write a lot of papers. We don't really get to get feedback or discuss them, and so by having to present our papers and having English faculty present, we're able to kind of rethink our own research and get ideas and bounce ideas off each other.
I think that for me, it benefited me by helping me really dig into my paper, really get to speak to others and get to bounce ideas off of different professors and different other students.
The panel was designed to increase the literary skills of the class. However, one student says that he hopes that the panel has also inspired those in the audience.
I hope that they learn some things. I think that one thing we really talked about was the oppressive nature of language, and I really think that language is obviously a part of everybody's life, and I really think that that they were able to hopefully learn something and see what language can do for them since it's a part of their life.
Jordan Elston, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This was the 38th Annual English Forum.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. U.S. Marshals have arrested an Alabama man wanted for capital murder during a 2013 robbery attempt. 27-year-old Justin Lynette Simpson was arrested Tuesday in Birmingham after eluding authorities.
The Alabama House of Representatives is expected to debate a bill to create a new governing board for Alabama's two-year college system. The legislation at the top of the debate agenda for today would remove oversight of the Alabama community college system from the State Board of Education.
And 2 Alabama women on their way to church died after their car was hit by a speeding driver in a stolen pickup truck. One woman was in her 90s and another was in her 70s on their way to a church meeting in Birmingham yesterday when a truck slammed into their car after the truck driver ran a red light.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision News, the baseball team took on Kennesaw State last night. Clay Yeager will tell us if the Trojans got the win when he joins us in sports.
And the NFL may be out billions of dollars. We have the details on the way, so stay with us.
Hey, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on TrojanVision News.
The baseball team was able to get a midweek win as they beat Kennesaw State last night 6-2. When it was all said and done, Troy had hit 4 home runs and 3 solo shots. Troy had gained the lead as Trip Calhoun had his first home run of the season in the second inning. 4 innings later, the Trojans clinched a 2-1 lead when Matt Sanders hit his second home run of the season. Then in the same inning, Reed Long would step up to the plate to hit his 7th home run of the season as well. The 3rd consecutive home run came from Logan Hill. Defensively, the Trojans were dominant as Ben Tidwell pitched 4 2/3 innings, allowing 1 run and 4 hits. Corey Childress would step up to finish off the game as he struck out 3. The last time the Trojans had 3 home runs in an inning was in 2013 when Troy played Arkansas State. The men's golf team came up short as they finished 5th in the Sun Belt tournament. The Trojans may not have finished the way they wanted to, however, players have another opportunity to showcase what they're made of as they wait for the NCAA Men's Golf Championship selection. Head coach Matt Terry says even though they are discouraged from the recent tournament, they have to keep their heads up and wait for the opportunity to compete on the national stage.
At the conference, it's not anywhere near what we wanted to do. We wanted to win the thing, and when you don't, it deflates you, especially when you know you got a good team. And but these guys, had a good year. I think we're sitting in a decent spot with an opportunity to go to regionals as an at-large, and that's a really, really hard thing to do.
The selection show on the Golf Channel will air May 4th at 9 a.m. Even though the Sun Belt title for the men's tennis team was a team effort, one player has stood out on the court the entire season. Giovanni Samaha has been a key player for the men's tennis team. After the regular season, Samaha has left with an impressive 18-3 record in singles. In the Sun Belt tournament, he gained his 11th straight win. Head coach Scott Kidd says his leadership is the heart of the team.
It comes down to Giovanni. He's going to leave it on the court. He'll play with one leg broken. That he loves to play for the crowd. He has so much of all of my years coaching. He's one of the few players that plays with such passion and heart, and that's one thing unique about him. And he loves team. He is a team player, and we're so lucky to have him come back for next year. He was a transfer, so we still have him back for another year. And he brings a lot of excitement to the team. The boys, he really pushes the boys from the bottom.
Samaha and the rest of the Trojans will start preparation for the NCAA regionals. Football will have some changes for high school teams as the Alabama High School Athletic Association passed some new rules and regulations. I went to Montgomery to see how these new regulations will affect the game. The Alabama High School Athletic Association is making some changes to the game of football, and those changes deal with the key part of the game, the contact.
It limits the number of contact minutes you can have per week, and it also limits the number of bouts that you have per week. You go on an alternate and you can't have full contact for 2 days in a row. And it lessens the occurrences of potential harmful effects on athletes.
Perry also explains the reason for changing the rules now is because of recent studies on concussions.
Well, there's been so many occurrences of concussions, and a lot of studies are coming out about the long-term effects of concussions in contact sports.
However, contact is key in preparation for games, and high school coach Nelson Hall gives his opinion if it affects how they get ready for games.
Preparation for a game, we try and plan. And if you plan, then you can get around it, and sometimes you might bite your lip saying, I wish we could hit more.
Football is labeled as a contact sport, and it's always been part of the game. However, with the new rules and regulations for schools in the state of Alabama, the question arises, will it always be a full contact sport? Well, head coach Jimmy Perry says it will be a positive change for the game of football.
Anytime we do anything to ensure the safety of our children, I think that's on a positive note. Coaches, what they have to do, they have to let's see what we're doing. Let's see how it fits in these parameters, and we'll make the adjustments one way or the other, because there's not a coach in America, I honestly believe it, there's not a coach in America that goes out there and says, let's see how I can hurt one of these youngins. They all care about them, or they wouldn't do it.
The new rules and regulations have already taken place as teams get ready for spring practice.